So Jamie, coming to the end of the first 6 week session of the training program for the winter, how's it gone by and large from where you were standing?
Yeah, really good. Lads have been in most days doing their S&C sessions, which have been fantastic. Boys are working really hard, being put through their paces through DAS or by DAS as normal. Been really successful 6 week block.
I mean, and how do you sort of compare where we are now to where we have been? I mean, how do you measure that?
It's difficult because I think the summer takes a lot out of the players in terms of the volume of cricket, the intensity they play at. So it's difficult. I mean, the idea of this 6 weeks block is to really get some of that strength back that potentially they lose through the summer, through the fatigue that they endure. So we can only really work on the measures that the players have. So previous years, what their scores are for fitness, their numbers for strength, and continue to work on individual areas that need sort of maintenance for players who struggle with injuries or niggles through the season as such.
Any specific areas we've been working on?
Yeah, so a few individual cases. I mean, obviously Lewis Gregory had to unfortunately be pulled from the Lions tour with a back injury. So he's come back and worked intensively with myself and Jason and Darren and Zach, really to make sure that we can get him as strong as he can be, so that Jason can continue to work with developing his bowling action and making sure that we don't have a recurrence of this injury. And
what about one or two others? Ben Green, has he been with us?
Ben Green, he's
he was injured, wasn't he?
Yes, Ben Green suffered with a shin splint, which I guess would be the injury diagnosis, I guess, for the kind of the non-medical person. But he did really well. He worked with us for about a 12-week block to get ready for the Sri Lanka tour. So it was a bit of a up in the air as to whether he was going to make that tour at one point in terms of his injury, but he's done really well, worked really hard. Obviously it's a bit harder with him with the contact time we have, being down in Exeter, but he's been very diligent and worked his socks off really to get himself ready for that tour. So all credit to him.
And what about the lads who are overseas? Do we keep contact with them? I mean, Jim's overseas. He's had an ankle injury, I think, that he's had something dealt with, hasn't he?
Yeah, so Jim's was a long-standing injury which he sort of managed to play through, and we decided that the time was right now to get a surgical intervention for that. So he had the surgery in October, and he's been undertaking his rehab out in Australia, which is fully understandable given the fact that his new arrival in October. I think he wanted to be there with his family, and that's more than understandable on his part. So he's been working really hard. We keep in close contact with those guys, make sure that we get regular updates of their rehab and their progressions and what they're able to do. And that's generally very much guided by us, and we do have some external help over in Perth at the moment with the physiotherapy he sees. So it's great actually that we have that contact with them.
That's good. I mean, looking beyond Christmas, I mean, obviously the lads are going to be going home in the next few days or having a break off and then back here. I mean, where do we go beyond Christmas as far as you're concerned?
So beyond Christmas starts a bit more integration of the skills. So Matt and Jason, Tweds and Sanders will be putting them through their skills paces. So we have a little bit of a reduction in the strength work and the S&C. Probably bring a little bit higher percentage of skills work, less percentage of S&C. But we're still looking to build on their strength gains and their flexibility and their cardiovascular fitness, all those things that are going to make someone able to perform out there in the middle, not just for one game, but for an entire season.
And obviously looking out there now, it seems a long way away, but it's creeping up, isn't it? We've got the first fixture list that come out, so, I mean, how do you feel sort of about it now you've been here a little while? I mean, you've been through a closed season and a full season. What are your thoughts sort of about the whole programme that we run here?
It's absolutely phenomenal. Everything from the coaching that's delivered to how hard they work in the gym. From my perspective, I've been lucky enough to work at a few sports clubs, and it's great to see how different teams prep for their individual seasons, and how hard they work and the effort they put in. And it's always great to be sitting here and watching them sort of succeed, individually, but also as a team. And there's no better feeling than that, to think that you've in some way contributed a small percent to that.